This video relates to the US election to the astrological time quality of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on November 12, 2020 in Capricorn and its possible implications. It is also a short flashback on our prognosis video for 2020, and we will comment on mundane astrology in general, so stay tuned. Brotherhood of the Eternal Light, Teaching the Western Mysteries. While we are producing this video, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction on November 12, 2020 at 22 degrees Capricorn is almost here, and the US election has been decided. A good time for a short flashback. In 2019, we said,
in a conjunction of Pluto and Jupiter, Pluto, signifying radicalism, conjoins with sovereignty and worldviews, Jupiter. The astrological principle of Pluto's uncompromising pursuit of the best and perfection unites with the order, values, and the political and religious views of Jupiter.
Basically, this is the current time quality that we have exactly on Thursday, which has been building up so far. If we take a look at the headlines these days, we can see different priorities that are currently being perceived by the press on various issues. For instance, while President-elect Joe Biden focuses on people wearing masks and on establishing a COVID transition advisory board, others are still in doubt about the election results and are in favor to contest them. We can see that there are conflicts and different views on what is considered the best to strive for, and of course, on who the sovereign, here the president, should be. This is not surprising, because the conjunction takes place in the sign of Capricorn.
Where Jupiter is in its fall, we can expect the uncompromising search for perfection of Pluto to be expressed by stubborn, ambitious, greedy, selfish, or opportunistic values. Possibly also by the abuse of power, or tyranny and fanaticism.
This was our 2019 interpretation for the current conjunction, based on clear and precise understanding of the planets and zodiacal signs in Qabbalistic astrology. We also asked,
will we experience any surprises or surprising revelations on or about November 12 regarding the election or presidential candidates? How will Trump's electoral base react to the election results and recent developments?
As we are producing this video, it is not yet Thursday the 12th. However, the time quality has been building up according to our prognosis, and we can see all of this mirrored in the press. On November 7th, we saw pictures of people who did not accept the voting results. Now the press notices that the election brings maybe or maybe not unexpected challenges for some, and strengthens firm principles in others. Yet, all this does not remain without contradictions, and neither without new practices being introduced, which did not remain uncriticized. We can see with Pluto conjunct Jupiter in its fall, the time quality brings about concerns and fears, and regardless of how probable some of them might be considered, they are there, expressing the time quality we prognosed. There are also newly raised doubts and also new assumptions and new announcements. We look forward with much interest to the forthcoming events and also to the Great Conjunction in December. Thank you also for the comments on our video in the conjunctions of Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter in Capricorn from December 27th, 2019. You raised some interesting questions, and now we will reply to some of them. One question that was raised several times in different forms was, and why is a spiritual channel going into politics? I came here to study Kabbalah. We go into politics because we discussed mundane astrology, which is about the connection of astrology and major mundane events. This means it is especially about politics. That's why we need to mention politics, whether it is elections, wars, climate change, pandemics, or other issues. This is not about taking sides, but about taking a higher perspective. In mundane astrology, we make prognoses according to astrological constellations, using the precise methods of interpretation that Kabbalistic astrology provides. And yes, we will stand up for certain basic values, including ethics and truthfulness of politicians, but we demand them from all parties involved. Since you came here to study the Kabbalah, on the Kabbalistic tree of life, there are spiritual concepts called Sephirot, which influence the lower planes of existence, of which the astrological forces are a part of. Thus, mundane astrology and astrology in general has spiritual sources anyway. Watch our video, Introduction to Kabbalistic Astrology, for details. Another comment from Germany that we got was, "What does not like mean? This is a collection of one-sided, biased, left-wing green political statements that do not belong here. Repeated Trump bashing and Greta nonsense with rising sea levels taken seriously. Unserious." This comment blames us for making political statements, but it contains political statements itself, and calling us left-wing green. Anyway, in mundane astrology, which we discuss here, worldviews and politics do indeed belong here, especially with a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, in which Jupiter stands for exactly this: sovereignty, and thus politics, worldviews, and values. And yes, because of some of his deeds, we criticize President Trump. Meanwhile, even Fox News did. The rising sea levels are taken seriously by scientists. As astrologers and spiritual people, we prefer to deal mindfully and are appreciative with nature and do not reject science or logical thinking. We choose these two comments to reply to because some people think that as astrologers or as spiritual people, we are not allowed to speak about politics. We think we are, and that we should, and we strive to do so from a higher point of view. That is, we set political and social events in relation to the current astrological constellations. Astrologers of all times have done so, and in fact, this is what the first astrologers did exclusively. If you would like to learn more about the precise art of Kabbalistic astrology and how to do your own accurate prognosis, watch out for our forthcoming webinars on the subject. Subscribe to our newsletters to be among the first to know the time and details. Link in the description. Would you like to review 2020 from an astrological point of view? And would you also like to watch our astrological prognoses for 2021? Then subscribe and activate the bell so that you won't miss these upcoming videos. See you soon!